All right, folks, we're going to get started. Thank you for coming. I know this is a nice occasion why many of you are here this evening, so I look forward to hearing more about how it went. And I believe I saw the baby, right? Is the baby here? No? Yes? Okay. Compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law, I wish to state that on September the 10th, 2021, the notice of this meeting of the Upper Township Committee was posted on the official Township Bulletin Board and the Upper Township website, mailed to the Cape May County Gazette, the Atlantic City Press, the Ocean City Sentinel, Ledger, the Herald Times, and filed with the Township Clerk. Tonight's meeting is being video recorded up until the closed session portion of this meeting and will be available on the Upper Township website. I hereby direct that this announcement made a part of the minutes of this meeting. I would ask all to rise for the salute to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Barbara, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mr. Coggins?
Here.
Mr. Corson?
Here.
Ms. Hayes? Here. Mayor Palumbo?
Here.
All members are present.
All right, would someone like to approve the minutes, first from August the 23rd, regular and closed session minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second. Is there any corrections, omissions, deletions that anyone's aware of? All right, hearing none. Would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes? Yes. Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
There's also minutes to be approved from August the 18th, 2021. Special meeting, regular and closed session minutes. Would someone like to make a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve. Second.
And again, is there any corrections, omissions, deletions that anyone's aware of? Hearing none. Please call the roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes? Yes. Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
So before we go to the report of the governing bodies, I believe we have a presentation tonight, commendation to the members of the Upper Township Division of EMS and the Seaville Volunteer Fire Company for delivery of a baby in Upper Township. Curtis, do you have something over there?
Yes, we have the names of the people that were very important in delivering the baby, and I'll read them if they want to come forward. We have Scott Fancher, Steve Schaefer, Chris Bellis, Rob Lane, Roy Blackleach, Joe Devine, and Kevin O'Brien. If y'all want to come forward, and I think Deputy Chief Hooker, if you want to come up. I think we got pins for everybody here.
So we had quite a staff delivering a baby. It looks like a big.
Probably Stanley had that baby.
Was there any room in the I mean, it looks like more than what you would get in a maternity ward.
So what we do is we have, since firemen deliver the baby, they have pins that firemen receive when they deliver a baby. So we're going to get our chief here, if you all want to go down, and our chief, acting chief can pin the rescue squad, that would be good. We're about fire company. I don't want to stick any money, so this is your. Congratulations.
Seems like we're doing this correctly. You guys are always doing this.
The thing behind this is everybody that delivers a baby gets a stork pin and typically a case of beer because he's a weird house pin. You're not buying a beer. So we got some pins.
You can get there.
Typically they are pink or blue depending on what you deliver, but these were a little cooler if you guys were actually going to wear them on your uniform. You didn't have to wear them. Please do it.
So I guess we can go.
So we're in the McBride, it doesn't happen that often. When we looked at the numbers today, in 2020, there was just shy of 97,000 babies born in New Jersey alone. 0.8% of them were born in front of first responders. So like I said, it doesn't happen often, so we're proud. And if you feel like me after I did it, well, I would be just fine. So, congratulations, gentlemen.
And And I'm sure that'll be expired by the time you ever use it. You can save that for home use.
All right, another round of applause. You all are welcome to stay, but as is the case, if you have other things to do this evening, it's okay if you depart as well, so.
They don't want to get saved by the bell on this end. That's good.
See you guys.
Take it easy, sir.
All right, so let's go back to the report of the governing body members. Do you have something for us this evening, Scott?
Yes, good evening, Mayor. We'll start with the COVID report from the county and Upper Township. Good news regarding decreasing COVID cases continue this week in Cape May County. County's rate of transmission fell below 1.0 this week for the first time since July 14th. When the rate of transmission is below 1.0, it can be said that the spread of coronavirus is decreasing. Current rate of transmission is 0.95 according to the website covidactnow.org. County officials are still reminding residents of the importance to protect themselves against the Delta variant and to keep the positive momentum continuing. Vaccination remains the best protection. While the weather remains warm, take advantage of it, being safer to socialize outdoors instead of indoors. It's also recommended to mask while indoors and people maintaining their social distance of 6 feet or more. For this period, this report, they're issuing them every Friday. We have total county cases of COVID since the beginning of 10,881. And a total of 225 deaths, again, since the start of the COVID pandemic. Total for this period, residents active cases as of Friday in Upper Township was 53, and that's compared to our last report on September 3rd, which was at 73, and the report of August 27th before that for Upper Township was 71. So good to see that there is a slight decrease in the number of COVID cases. And that is all I have for you this evening.
Okay. Barbara?
Nothing at this time, so thank you.
Daniel?
Nothing at this time.
Paul?
Thank you, Mayor. First, I just want to mention, I did have some conversations with Bob Church, the county engineer, and just grabbed an update regarding the New Bridge Road project. That is still slated for fall of 2022. They just, this past spring did do some temporary paving to kind of improve the road surface temporarily, but it is still scheduled for fall of 22 for repaving.
And that's just for pedestrians, right? Or is that a full bridge? Oh, that's the full bridge. I'm thinking
This
of
is
the
New
bridge.
Bridge Road behind
Okay.
the tavern.
I know where you're
Township Burma Road.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
And that's going to repair the drainage issues?
That's going to fix everything. They're repairing the drainage. They're actually tying some of the areas into the township drainage system that goes back off of Cole Avenue and stuff. And so that's going to improve the drainage road surface. It will also include that small portion of Corson Tavern Road from New Bridge down to, we always call it the unnamed road down by the White Deer Motel. It'll do that little stretch. I always get the call, why didn't they finish that little stretch? Because they were tying that in with the New Bridge Road project. Just an update on the Beasley Point project. At one of the prior meetings, we had talked about getting a flagpole
I did finally get today our last quote that I was needing, and the quote came in at $2,547. So I think we had authorized at the last meeting, but I just wanted to report back at this meeting that if you're okay, we'll go ahead and proceed with that and then have a authorizing resolution at the next meeting. But just wanted to make sure the committee was still okay with moving forward with that. And then the next thing is we had been talking about doing the grand opening on about in a week and a half on the 24th. We're going to have to delay that opening into October. I'll firm up another date where some of the signage and different materials haven't come in like they were supposed to, where we thought they were going to come in. And also when we met with the county commissioner, Bill Morey, and the planning director and Committeewoman Hayes, we talked about some plan changes that would be needed to be done just to kind of coordinate some of the color schemes on the buildings and changing the roof style on that mechanical building. I had passed out to some of the committee members before the meeting a proposed change order. If everybody's kind of okay with giving me some direction that we can move forward with that, we can have that work done in anticipation of the opening. And at the next meeting, we'll have a formal change order resolution for your final approval.
So you work on confirming a date for October?
Yes, yeah, I'll work on having a firm date, because I want to call back the flagpole place to get a delivery date for the flagpole, as well as, really get that sign guy nailed down on when he's going to deliver the signs to be installed.
Do we need a motion on this change order tonight?
If I could at least have
We don't need.
well, I
if
mean,
you
I
want
would
a
like
motion.
to, I would like to start to progress on the work, so, I mean, a motion and a vote just to proceed would.
But you could have further changes to it though, correct? I mean, there's other change, you're waiting for other
Well,
things as well.
that other work will not be part of this change order.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, there's other stuff that, when
That
we.
will be a separate bid.
We're looking at tying, when we looked at it, the county is asking us to kind of coordinate the park project at the north end of, or the terminus of Shore Road, and we want to tie the two in together, as well as doing some more restoration work on our fixed pier and, some other amenities in that whole area as part of the placemaking process. So I'm going to be at an upcoming meeting putting together a grant application for that, and the other placemaking items that they would like to do at the park. I'll include that in that proposed project so it doesn't slow up this project.
Where are we with the dredging?
The permit was submitted. We should be receiving some comments back probably at the end of this month, early October. I think because of it's a 90-day permit process, I think that puts us on a 90-day permit was just after Thanksgiving from when they had submitted it. So, as we approach November, depending on the comments that we're getting back, I'll approach the committee on getting an authorization to go out to bid for the dredging so that we can award a dredging project in February. And that way it'll be done well in advance of the spring fishing season.
Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion to draft a resolution to approve the change order as specified by Paul in his notation of 9/13/21.
Second.
Any discussion? Let's call the roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Cobb?
Yes?
Mr. Morrison?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Favor?
And that's all I had this evening. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, Barbara?
I have nothing this evening, Mayor.
All right, Committeeman Coggins?
Yeah, I'd like to make everybody aware of the fact that the township has been put on notice by Ocean First Bank that they will be closing their branch on Roosevelt Boulevard. Ocean First is the bank that we do business with. We have a contractual obligation to them, and one of the services that they provide for us is collection of taxes. So with that being said, I would like to ask the committee's approval
to direct the township solicitor to take a look at that contract and find out if there are some options that we have to enable us to get another bank online that would have a branch operating in Upper Township and is owned by Americans to collect our taxes and also possibly do our banking.
So we also have point of sale there too, right? Isn't that where credit cards and stuff go to?
Yes.
So-
Now, that could change, as we have changed banks over the years, the merchant services has gone along with our proposal.
But, yeah, but I think what also needs to be considered is the percentage of what they're charging us, because as I recall, they were pretty reasonable with the percentage.
We have no fees.
Right.
Yes, we
So,
have no fees.
and many banks do charge a fee.
Correct.
So if we collect taxes and have to pay 2% of that, it could become a significant amount of money. So that's why we have to make sure that we
Well,
secure
yeah,
a
we know
bank
when that
with the same
expires.
kind of opportunity for point of sale.
What, do we know when the bank is closing in Memorial?
December 3rd.
I mean, something to think about, Sturdy Bank is a local county bank. They
They
have
also
two,
have CL savings in them too.
they have, I was just saying that, they have 2 branches. CL Savings is one, is right by the Acme. So it's,
Yes. There are still a couple banks in the township that could potentially offer the services we're looking for.
All right, but definitely concentrate on that point of sale too, because that could be
that's
substantial.
significant, yes, that's,
Those are, I said no fees, but those are the only fees. The credit card fees are the only fees that we do pay.
Right.
But that's not directly to the bank, that's a third party.
All right, so it doesn't give us a lot of time, so I would agree we need to get started on it. Anything else, John?
No, that's it, thank you.
Okay. Committeewoman Hayes.
Good evening, everyone. So we're moving forward with planning our fall festival for this coming October 3rd. We've been running into some roadblocks with things like, the liquor license, trying to make the beer garden happen. I had the opportunity on Sunday to speak with the owner of Misty Meadow Sheep Farm. They also have an event planned on October 3rd. They have their farmers market, which is set up basically with everything that we were looking to do for Fall Fest. So in speaking with him, I'd like to see us try to partner with them to, find some way to include what their activity already is on that date into our existing festival. So they would like to stay on their property with their portion. I'd like to see us keep our car show at Amanda's Field, probably like the kids zone there. This is all very new, so we have to sit down and really hash out some of the finer points about what's going to be where. But I think it's a good opportunity for the township to highlight one of our small businesses. I think it would actually be a savings to the township as far as they're going to take on the workload of the vendors and the farmers market and that sort of thing. They also offer the hay maze for kids, which is not something we were going to have. The petting zoo is something that wasn't going to have because they usually provide our petting zoo, but because they're having an event, they'll be there. So if everyone's okay with that, I would like to move forward
So-
in partnering with them.
There's a
So
resolution.
there's a
on the agenda
resolution tonight
Yeah.
that talks about parking at, for car parking and stuff, so,
So that part would still stay the same, we would still have.
So that would all stay the same?
Because we still have the car show portion at Amanda's Field.
All right, would there be vendors and all that, or no?
Now, it looks like we're gonna put the vendors.
How would the township participate on a private event?
So
park-
we're looking at a way to make it sort of 2 different sections. So we would have the Amanda's Field section, which would be the antique car show, the kids zone with some of like the inflatable things that we have, and we'll have to work through what else we can put there to make that a worthy stop. And then we're gonna look into some kind of transportation, maybe a trolley or something to shuttle back and forth between the 2. He doesn't have enough
I'll have
parking.
to look at it, because you
Okay.
can't, it obviously would be an agreement with a private entity, and sometimes they have to be bid or public contracts and
Okay.
those type of things. So I'm not sure exactly what's being proposed, so we have to really look at it to make sure it fits within the allowable
Okay. There's no
procedures for a
changes.
municipality.
Right, there's no exchange of funds between us and Misty Meadow. It would really just be a partnership as far as,
But who would provide a shuttle bus?
we would do that. We would do that.
and what about security? What do we have plans for that?
Security would actually be reduced because of we no longer would have the
The beer garden.
rules and regulations that have to be followed regarding the beer issues as far as underage drinker potential and things of that sort that we would normally
How
So
do
the
we
beer
fund the
garden's
transportation?
next. Beer garden's done.
That's one,
Beer garden's done.
that would move to Misty Meadows.
Well, if we just follow this plan, yeah. That would.
The resolution tonight does give the township administrator the ability to, you know, set requirements and change protocols. It doesn't anticipate anything like this. I don't know whether another resolution would be necessary without getting more detail on the proposal. If
Okay.
it's just providing transportation, I'm not too concerned about that, but we have to figure out who we would contract to do that. That could be an item that has to go through purchasing.
Right, and then I apologize for springing this on everybody. Literally had the meeting with Mr. Zimmerman at 4 o'clock this afternoon to sort of hash out what was available to us and what he was doing. And it was a way to sort of make everything we were trying to make happen, and also still highlight one of our businesses.
They would run their own program, we would just
Yeah,
provide transportation to it.
Yep, they have someone that does all of their vendors. They have like a weekly farmer's market, so they would continue to just run the same thing that they do every Sunday.
So really, we would only provide transportation, is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Do we have a cost estimate on the transportation and and an idea of how we're gonna fund it?
So we still have funds available to pay for the fall festival, which is gonna be dramatically decreased, because as we're saying, we're gonna need less staff and that kind of stuff. No, I do not have the transportation estimate today, but I will have that, hopefully tomorrow, we'll be able to get out and get some returns on that.
Do we
Okay,
have an idea how many vendors we have signed up?
I have 3 that have signed up, no one has actually paid yet. We have 1 food truck that has agreed to come, and I think that a big part of the problem we're having is that Misty Meadows has a successful event the same day in the same township.
Did I hear that there was a fee, changing the fees though for the cars and everything? We're not charging the cars now?
Now, we're just charging a $5 fee to park for everyone. So instead of charging just the antique cars, like an entrance fee, because we don't provide an award, we don't do judging, and so we just did a flat rate, $5 for anybody who wants to drive there and park.
And we have, and so you'll set it up to have somebody collect the stuff, collect the money?
Yeah, we had met about that, earlier in the week before the, beer garden stuff started to unravel.
Any money collection would be, also have the security staff with them, just like we did in past events of this nature and size.
Well, the good news is it's close. I mean, the Misty Meadows isn't very far from Amanda's Field. I've never embarked on anything like this, just, you'll have to make sure that, we don't set ourselves up for liability. I'm not necessarily opposed to it.
It's not just the liability, there's also requirements that when you go in, any public contract has to be done not in a private setting just to benefit one individual. So I have to look into that,
Okay.
to make sure that whatever we're proposing fits within the parameters of the statutes. So
Okay, so what would you recommend? We proceed with the resolution that's on
you
as it is?
proceed with the resolution,
Yeah.
that's what I was mentioning, there's a clause in there that allows the township administrator to set additional rules, that type of thing. I would ask that you at least authorize, I guess, whatever funds that may be necessary, as long as they're clear through the department and the administrator for, do you need to sign a contract
Nope.
for transportation? You know,
I don't know, we haven't gotten the bids on transportation.
this is the last meeting before the event, correct?
Yes.
So you need
There's one
No,
more.
we have one more
No,
meeting.
there's one more,
We got one more meeting?
There's one more meeting, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
27.
That's right, it's the
25th.
beginning of October. That's right.
27.
All right.
Okay, so we can deal with it at the next meeting if we get the information before that.
We'll have it this week.
Okay.
So do you need any motion to just,
I think at this point, because we have another
we'll
meeting.
just do
we
the
can go with it.
resolution?
If you do the other resolution, I think you're fine, and then
Okay.
if there's things that need to be addressed either with the committee or with another resolution, we can do it at the next meeting.
Okay.
So,
But it'll
the
give
only
us time to
concern-
investigate
The
it.
only concern I would have is, we're gonna need to promote this, and we'd like to promote it, I'd like to be able to promote it as a partnership with them. So once, it's cleared with Dan, if everybody's comfortable with us going forward with promoting it, once Dan's had a chance to look at it.
It's really Barbara and I making sure that she doesn't have an issue with purchasing, that's all.
Okay.
Takes the liability off us.
Well, we're still gonna have
It's not
liability
taking
because
liability.
we have, they're gonna have a car show on
we've
top
got
of it.
we've got to check on the
And,
insurance
and
carrier.
if there's
on
a,
the
if there's an
transportation
issue with
fund.
transportation going back and forth, then they're gonna come after us anyway. So, I don't think it changes the liability, it's just spreads it in different directions.
Yes.
So, all right, let's see what we can do to make this work.
I appreciate it, thank you. And that's all for me.
All Deputy Mayor Barr,
I have nothing to report, sir.
Committeeman Corson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Upper Township Rabies Clinic will be held Saturday, October 16th, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., rain or shine, at the Shore Vet Hospital, number 73 Hope Corson Road. Also available will be dog licenses. If people are not licensed at that point, they can purchase their license.
So would they be purchasing for this year, or will it start for next year?
No, they would purchase it for this year.
Okay.
So, but yeah, dog licenses, not driver's licenses. So that's all I have at this time.
Right, the only thing I have is I just really want to acknowledge the hospitality of Osprey Point. When they had the 9/11 ceremony, Kim and I attended. It was well attended by a lot of Upper Township residents, and I think it was a really unique celebration, or I wouldn't say I guess it was a memorial, but it was more that we should never forget what occurred 20 years ago on September 11th. I guess it was 2001. So for those that are here that aren't aware, Osprey Point has been hosting a lot of the memorial services. They have a Memorial Day service. They have 9/11 Patriots Day, I believe it's called these days. And then they also have Veterans Celebration on November 11th. So it's open to the public, and if anyone would like to join, in the future going forward, it really is a great place to have, a quiet moment for about a half hour, and it's usually very well attended, so.
Let me ask you, did we ever have a resolution for them?
We have a resolution for the ceremony. We had one that was presented for, the 20th anniversary of 9/11. We pretty much have a resolution prepared, whether it's Veterans Day or Memorial Day. But, I'm not sure that we actually have done a resolution specifically thanking Osprey Point for hosting it, a lot of the festivities. So it might be something that we should consider. That's probably a good idea.
For Veterans Day,
Yeah, I mean, they do a lot down there.
They
They
really do.
Everything we have.
They have all the chairs set up, they make sure everything is ready to go, and they certainly arrange a lot with the VFW and American Legion, as well as, keeping our fire and rescue involved, keeping the township committee involved, and really the residents for that matter. So I think a resolution would be appropriate for Osprey Point, thanking them for all that they do for, to have these, celebrations.
back in the day, we used to do the ones that were framed.
Yes,
We should probably do one that's framed so they can hang it in your clubhouse.
okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Laminated framed, or yeah.
Size.
No,
I don't know if we can find.
no, but
a
you're right,
size.
because we used to do that a lot. It got a little cost prohibitive, but for a unique thing for that to put in the clubhouse, I think would be nice.
Yeah.
Great, that's all I have. So, if you want, we can go on to the resolutions, Barbara, please.
Item number 1, honoring Andrew Lee on attaining the designation of Eagle Scout.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Colombo?
Yes.
Motion is carried with all in favor, and Mr. Lee will be with us at our next meeting for a presentation.
Great.
Item number 2, honoring the memory of our friend Charles Douglas Longnecker Jr.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Colombo?
Yes.
Motion is carried with all in favor. I'd like to mention that Mr. Longenecker was also one of our poll workers. Very, very nice man, and he will be missed. I believe they're going to have a little memorial, like a little booth set up with some different things in his honor at the Tuckahoe Heritage
The
Festival.
Historical Preservation Society is having a transportation festival on September 25th, and they'll be honoring him there at that festival.
Should be nice. Item number 3, honoring ShopRite Partners in Caring and the Marmora ShopRite Associates for their fight against hunger.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried. 4, certification of costs for abatement of nuisance on block 456, lot 1, block 549, lot 119, block 561.01, lot 64, block 573.01, lot 38, and block 714, lot 1.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried. 5, authorizing the mayor and township clerk to sign a contract with Quality Asset Recovery LLC for collection services for emergency medical service accounts.
Motion to authorize.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried. 6, authorizing the Upper Township Rescue Squad's trunk or treat event to be held at Amanda's Field on Tuesday, October 26, 2021, with a rain date of October 27th.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Item number 7, authorizing the Upper Township Fall Hall to be held on Sunday, October 3rd, 2021 at Amanda's Field, and setting the vendor and parking fees.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried. 8, declaration of emergency pursuant to Township Ordinance, Section 7-3.2, in order to provide temporary no parking restrictions during the Upper Township Fall Hall event on Sunday, October 3rd, 2021.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Item number 9, appointing John Britton as Senior Emergency Medical Technician to the Upper Township Division of Emergency Medical Services.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Item number 10, appointing Michael F. Linz as Senior Emergency Medical Technician to the Upper Township Division of Emergency Medical Services.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried. 11, authorizing Verizon Wireless to install additional equipment and/or antennas on the licensed space of the cell tower and ground located at 1721 Mount Pleasant Road.
Motion to authorize.
Second.
So can I ask one question, Paul, while they're doing this work? If the fire company needs any enhancements of their, routers or whatever, can they be involved with that? If they do work on the top of the tower?
I don't think so. I mean, this is at the public work, this is on the,
Right.
our existing tower, and I don't know.
I don't think they
there's
have
any-
anything on that, do they?
No, we don't have any communication on that tower.
Well, I mean, I don't know anything about it, but
Yeah.
at
And I
least
don't- I
can
don't-
we
I
check
don't-
with?
This is our tower with the
Right.
license.
I know, it's the one it's a Public Works.
Public Works.
But they have some dead space still, and if they don't think it's a problem, I just want to make sure that we don't need some additional. Public safety does not. Okay. Fine, that's good, that's all I wanted to know.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried. 12, refunding tax on exempt property at block 453.10, lot 334.12.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried. 13, authorizing the purchase of certain items through the Sourcewell National Cooperative contract with funds from the 2020 Capital Improvement Bond Ordinance in the amount of $316,774.
Motion to authorize.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried. 14, authorizing payments from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund of Upper Township.
Motion to authorize.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
I hereby move that all claims submitted for payment at this meeting be approved and then incorporated into the full minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
There were a number of reports from the municipal departments: Animal Control, Clerk's Office, Construction Code, Division of EMS, Finance Office, MUA report, Public Works, and Tax Collector. These reports will be available upon request in the Clerk's Office tomorrow, but until such time, I'll make a motion to accept these reports.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
So at this time, we've reached the public comment portion of the meeting. We'll entertain anyone that would like to address the Township Committee. I would ask that you come up to the podium, state your name, your address, and your reason for addressing the Township Committee.
Hello, my name is Cindy Glovsky. I live at 3 Evergreen Drive, and I'm here to inquire when the ordinance is going to be enforced to remove the invasive trees that are growing on my neighbor's property, which are now growing on my property. It's been over a year now.
So Dan, can you explain where our ordinance is and what the situation
Well,
is?
we said this before, but there apparently has been some action on the zoning enforcement issue.
And I was out there at her residence to make another inspection, and we have a new code enforcement that just is getting up to speed, so I'm gonna be working with him on what our next steps are for that location. But it's still some, going through the process of where we're at this point, so I have to.
Atlantic Electric removed the tree that was
The tree, yep.
Yeah, so that was a big part of the expense more than likely, because that was a huge tree that they cut down, and it was really just a big wide stump to cut down. Now, I will add, and know that I don't enjoy this. This is torture for me. I'm busy. I work 3 jobs. This is not where I want to be. But I have to keep coming because it keeps getting worse over in my property. It's one thing if somebody's ignorant, but then when they're given the information that they need to do things properly and still don't do it properly, it just makes me wonder. The tree was not cut down properly, and now there are hundreds more sprouts growing. There's a new one that I noticed today that I didn't even look for. So now it's like the sidewalk, a curb, and then the street. So right next to where that tree was, now there's one of these trees growing in between the street and the curb. So that will continue to keep growing, probably 5 more, 10 more. So eventually they could be all over the whole neighborhood if it doesn't get taken care of. And it's only one tree that was taken down. There's still several others that are touching my house, growing into my property and in his backyard, which are coming over the fence. And since they're junk trees, the leaves are already dying and falling, and they're all over. So I was having a conversation with somebody just the other day about all the terrible things that are going on in this world. And they live in Pennsylvania. They mentioned that in their neighborhood, they now have the spotted lanternfly. And I didn't say anything, and she says that it all comes from this tree called the tree of heaven, which is the tree that I'm talking about, but I have a different name for it. So just so you know, they're still all over this township. Those spotted lanternflies, I can't say they're coming, I don't want them to come, but if and when they do, one of the reasons why is probably because those trees are like the prime host for those spotted lanternflies. We don't want them here.
I'm familiar with the spotted lanternfly. I've done a lot of reading on it because I have an orchard.
So you know the trees that are attracting it, and you know that they're all over.
They're going to work their way here. It's inevitable. And they're going to wipe out the peaches, the apples, all the fruit trees. But their favorite tree is the tree of heaven.
And that's why the people at the Rutgers Cooperative with the PhD degrees that were required in order to enforce this ordinance, because my word wasn't good enough for it, and I did arrange to have those people come to my property. That tree is supposed to be eliminated in the entire state of New Jersey. A big reason is because of those spotted lanternflies. And I still haven't seen any information posted, throughout the community about these trees that a lot of people have. So, like when I was here last time, I said I'm willing to volunteer my time. nobody's reached out to me. I mean, I can't, you know, I'm not Erin Brockovich, I can't do it all by myself, but I said I'd be willing to help. My main problem is that his trees are in my crawl space. They're strangling my plumbing. They're probably in my septic tank. But Paul was out the other day, and 2 weeks ago. I don't see the people that live next door to me ever. They never come out of their house. But as soon as that Upper Township car pulled in the driveway and we're walking around, there they were, pointing their finger at me, telling me I'm crazy. You're making this up. What are you doing? So, and you know, Paul was witness to that, and I have nothing against those people, except the fact that their trees are messing with my house. And they've been made aware. They obviously don't care because they tell me that I'm crazy. He saw it, wasn't pretty.
So Paul, is this something that can be cited in your future?
Well, there's been a sighting, I mean, these trees have been here for over 30 years before.
I don't mean like visual citing, I'm saying an actual citation.
Yeah, there's just an active citation, but like I said, we have a new code enforcement officer.
There's a process he has to go through.
Right,
with the
and
ordinance.
we're in that-
And-
we're in
and
that
if
process.
the person doesn't
All right,
cooperate.
well, thank you, because like I said, it's
Please
been a
let me
year.
finish,
It's been a
please.
year.
Please. From when he cited them, there's a process, all right? I don't know when you cited them, it was fairly recently, correct?
It's been ongoing that it started back with Shelley. Shelley was working with that property owner. I've been trying to catch up to speed, and now we have a new code enforcement officer.
So they haven't been cited.
Have we taken any enforcement action?
Yes.
Okay, we have. So is it in litigation right now?
I do not believe that a ticket
Okay,
has
so
been
let's
issued.
find
but-
out if it's in litigation and let this lady know where we are. We'll keep her in the dark. She needs to know where she is.
We can generally direct Paul to do his proper duties under the ordinance and the invasive species ordinance. However, I want to reiterate this, and this goes to anybody that comes in and complains about zoning enforcement or the prosecutor, whatever. The township committee can't direct a prosecutor, a zoning officer, code enforcement to make judgments or do their specific jobs. They have to do them themselves. We can't tell them to do something, all right? You have the right, if you don't feel that they're doing anything, to take your own action, file your own complaints against your neighbor under those ordinances. You can do that.
So when you say they, you mean the neighbors or you mean them?
Neighbors.
The neighbors.
You can actually file an action in municipal court saying they're violating, I'm firing out a complaint, they're violating this ordinance. If you don't feel he's doing his job. The township committee looks generally about performance, but they can't direct him specifically to do one thing in enforcement because they're a political body, they're not an enforcement body, okay?
Okay, so you're recommending that I take this to court?
You could, yes. I actually think that it might be successful because we've had these issues before where two neighbors are in dispute as to whether an ordinance is being violated or not, and municipal court will send them to mediation, and mediation often results in a successful resolution of the problem. You may have a perfect one, but a successful one. You'll get more action with something like that. You'll have a mediator that will require them to be in court, otherwise they might be fined.
Well, right now, with our new enforcement officer, though, I would probably give him a chance to, without going through that expense.
I'm trying, and like I said, it's not just cosmetic. I've hated the way it's looked for years, but now there's big problems, and there'll be even bigger problems when it cracks open the street. It's years from now, but if I don't go and pull that thing over and over and over again, it's gonna become a tree in the middle of the street. That I don't even have to guess. That I know because I see what happens. Okay, so I continue to wait, and, you know, I had asked, and I know Paul's busy, and I know this, I was working with Shelley, but I used to get whatever because I can't communicate with them because they think that I'm crazy. And they think that I'm wrong, and they told me that I'm making it up. You're making it up, what are you doing? There's nothing here. So Shelley would send me copies of the certified letters because I can't send them letters anymore because then they send me letters back and they're not so nice. So I can have it for my insurance and legal purposes because I've already had to speak to legal representatives and my insurance representatives because this is what it's leading to. So I was asking just, can I be included in any certified letters that get sent to him about this issue of the trees, not about the name calling or anything like that.
Paul, could you have our new code enforcement talk to Cindy And include her in the loop?
If there's somebody else I should email besides you, Paul, I'd be happy to, because I hate to blow up your email, but there's nothing else I can do. I can email you and I can show up here. I can email you, I can show up here, because that problem's not going away. It's getting worse, which is why I keep coming back. And I said that this isn't fun for me. Right, Jay Newman, this isn't my thing. He knows. I take care of special needs children. That's what I do. I don't do this.
Okay.
We're working the process, and I'll
Okay.
make sure that she's kept notified.
Thank you.
All right, and again, if there's anything that I could do personally to help with the issue that's all over the township, you know, I'd be happy to volunteer my time to, like I said, stuff, envelopes, you know, but again, in the local papers, there was only one article in Cape May Herald, so a majority of the property owners don't even know about this until there's a problem or until those spotted lanternflies come and, you know, focus on the properties that have those trees, because that is what happens too. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Would anyone else like to address the township committee?
Good evening. My name is Shauna Mulford. I live at 17 Dawn Road, right behind Amanda's Field, Petersburg. I'd actually like to circle back to the Fall Fest, and I'd like to have just a few questions answered. I was a part of the originating committee that created the Fall Fest here for Upper Township, with Committeeman Hobie Young. We formed a committee from community members to determine, what would be just family fun here in Upper Township, because we really wanted to bring family fun, good wholesome family fun to Upper Township. And to hear what the Fall Fest is turning into, we've passed a resolution tonight that says that you can take the parking that's out in Amanda's Field, and I get that. So we're moving forward with it, but my problem is, why didn't we know about Misty Meadows' October 3rd event already? Why wasn't there a committee formed prior to? Back for July 4th, I had offered to my services for my personal company to say, hey, look, we'll participate with the event. And, it wasn't followed up on, but now we're at the Fall Fest. Was there a committee formed from the community that would have, A, investigated other events that were going on with the township? Are there other people that are trying to put this event together? I just want to know, because we worked so hard to really build that event up and to really make it something great for this township. I get that it's post-COVID year and we're really trying to put it back together, but I just want to know, was there a committee formed? Who was involved in that committee? And why are we at where we're at now?
When was the last time you served on the committee?
2017, 2018, I would have to go back and look.
Okay. So in like the last 2 years?
It was when the first time, when they turned it into the car show.
So that's about 5 years ago, right?
Probably.
Yeah, so it's been quite some time. So obviously I'm new to the event planning side of the township committee. It was not my knowledge of that process of there being a community organization, volunteers that were involved in planning it prior to that. Maybe 5 years ago that was how they handled it, and maybe that worked really well, and that's something we should investigate in the future. But for now, it's October 3rd, so to get people in and have input from, everybody's different opinion is not going to help us get this accomplished at this point. I don't think, that it's turning into something bad. I actually think it's turning into something very good. We have a partnership with one of our local farms and small businesses that are reaching out to us and saying, we want to help the township. We want to donate our services. We have all of this already established and we want to make it better. So that really is community involvement. It's not really just township officials saying this is what we're doing. We have, community involvement from Misty Meadows saying we want to help. So absolutely thank you for your comments, and I think in the future, we can talk about that.
Okay, thank you.
Larry Truly, 430 Route 9, Marmora. One question directed, I guess, to Paul Dietrich. On the Verizon Tower, that's township property, so we didn't need to come to the zoning board for that, like we did down at Cedar Square?
That's actually, they already had a lease and they're just changing out and adding antennas on the existing tower, so yeah, it doesn't have to go to the board for approval.
And the other thing, I want to thank everybody there and past people that have been up here. My grandson lives in Dennis Township, and he is once again participating in fall ball here. The coaches are excellent. And I want to thank Upper Township for providing the opportunity for children from other towns, because of our large size, to come and participate. And looking down at Amanda's field, I see the banners that are there from the, you know, the World Series wins and stuff through time. Mary, you've been here 24 years, so you probably had a hand in that directly. Thank you.
Anyone else? Well, this was quite a quick meeting this evening. We had a lot of issues to address. We have a lot of issues to address in executive session. So at this time, I'm going to close the public portion and entertain a motion to go into executive session.
I hereby move that a resolution be incorporated into the minutes authorizing the Township Committee to enter into executive session for the following matters pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. The matters are personnel, safety and security with the cybersecurity policy, potential litigation, zoning, permit denials, contract negotiation, solid waste disposal and recycling services, possible lease of township land, Marsh McLennan, Vincent Morrison, temporary judge, and KD Security. I also include in my motion the estimated time and the circumstances under which the discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public as follows. It is anticipated that the matters discussed in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon the determination of the Township Committee that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality. With respect to employment and personnel matters, such discussions will be made public if and when formal action is taken, or when the individuals involved consent that it can be made public. With respect to contract negotiations, such matters will be made public when negotiations have ceased and there is no longer a reason for confidentiality. With respect to litigation matters, such discussions will be made public when litigation is complete and the applicable appeal period has expired.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Cobbins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Ms. Hayes?
Yes.
Mayor Plummer?
Yes.
Carried.
Thank you all for attending this evening. Please drive safely home. Have a great week. And we'll have an additional meeting in 2 weeks.